It's breathtaking. It's just so beautiful. Everything's open. You can see everything. Everything's green and clean. Oh, we still can't get over how clean everything is.
I'm Dr. Chamonix Blanche, ex-corporate and academical turned CEO and board member of several companies and mother of 4 little extraordinary kids. But it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the know-how, and the time to focus on designing and really going after the life that I so wanted to live. A life of freedom, of fairness, and of being fair dinkum to who I really was and what I wanted to get out of this fleeting time that we have on Mother Earth. Fast forward to many lessons learned and moving halfway around the world to the most amazing country, you'll see the life that I now live. One that gives me more safety and freedom than I ever thought would be possible, and that really only existed as a daydream while I was living in South Africa. I created Chamonix TV to give you true spot advice on how you can also live a life in this amazing country, and so that you can see how another couple like us now live in Australia with 4 little kids here in Down Under. And I'll be providing you with step-by-step strategies so that you can make your Aussie dream a reality too. If you're a keen future Aussie who's looking to create a life that excites you and offers you safety, freedom, and opportunity, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Richelle. Welcome all the way from amazing Adelaide. How are you?
Thank you. Fine, thanks, and you?
I am a little bit cold here in Perth today, but hey, you know what? It's winter time, and in Perth we have a rainy season during winter. Do you guys have that in Adelaide too? I think so.
Yep, we do. Everything's green and growing, but it's cold and rainy.
Yes. Well, I guess the advantage is if it's summer, it's almost never going to rain. So you can guarantee if you have an outdoor event organized or if your birthday is in the summer, you will never get wet if you organize something outside.
Yes, this is true. I always used to say it rains on my birthday until we moved to Australia. It no longer rains on my birthday.
So, Richelle, tell us a little bit about your story, please. How did you come, in terms of visa related, and also where did you guys come from?
So we come from Johannesburg, South Africa, Joburg South, from the deep south.
Good. Is that Randburg? Is that the south?
Bersonia area.
Right.
Yes. So yeah, Randburg's West Rand. Yeah. So we were in the...
Okay.
Don't worry. And we were actually hijacked with our kids at gunpoint in 2014.
Oh.
And that was a big eye-opener for us, where we realized everybody's basically just a waiting statistic. And we went home that day and we said, look, we're not going to stay here. We're not going to raise our kids where we remember walking home from school and playing out in the street late at night. And we wanted that for them as well. So, we started playing with ideas in our minds of where do we go? What country do we leave? So we looked at everything. America, Australia, Canada, UK, we looked everywhere. And Australia was really the one place where it's the landscape is so much like South Africa. So it was a shock to the system. Culturally, it also wasn't a shock to the system. I mean, yes, they also braai here. They just call it a barbecue, and everybody gets together. So it was such an easy slide getting here. We started playing around with the idea, and we had just bought another house when this happened. So we said, okay, we'll kind of stay here. It's an investment. And then my father-in-law got really ill and he moved in with us. So for 4 years, it was kind of on hold, but we still worked toward that goal for those 4 years. So, I mean, we weren't buying new cars or new furniture or things like that, because again, we kept saying we're leaving. And then, we got surprised with my daughter.
Oh, that's a good surprise.
It was a great surprise. Yeah. So we thought, oh, okay, well, she's here now. Maybe things need to change. But after my father-in-law passed away, we kind of reassessed all of this moving thing again. And my big decision was I went to the shops one day with all three of my kids for the first time on my own with all three, and got in my car after unpacking the groceries and getting the kids into the car. And I'd broken out in a sweat from pure stress. Like I'm a sitting duck, I'm a target, get everyone in the car, lock the car. And I went home and I said to my husband, I'm not doing this anymore. I cannot live like this anymore. And funnily enough, that's when we actively started applying. So this was around December 2017. And I quit my job the next day and I said, this is it. I'm only focusing on moving to Australia now. That's the only thing I focused on. We sold our house, we moved into a smaller place, and it took us all in all. So we went and redid like our passports and everything in January of 2018. And we got our approval on October 19th, 2019 in total.
So about a year and a half?
Give or take, yeah.
And you did, apart from the one meeting with the agents, you did all of it yourself?
Everything, all of it, yeah.
What was the category, Richelle?
So we got 190 visa, PR. The 189 was a little bit trickier applying for after my husband turned 34. So, you've got points losing there. So we went with the 190. And we only use his electrical qualification. We didn't use anything else. So
is he an electrician?
He's an electrician by trade, yes, but he's a project manager because he specializes in medium and high voltage. So he's the project manager for that division of a manufacturing company, yeah.
So the skill set, the trade was electrician that he used for the application for the visa.
Correct, yeah.
And you didn't have a job offer at that point when you decided to come over?
My husband did. We tried applying prior to our visa grant and we weren't really getting responses. We said, okay, look, we've saved enough. So even if we end up going over and then looking, it's not an issue. But because of the trade being so open, a lot of the guys that my husband was working with were giving us kind of advice, apply here or apply there. And the first application he made with a manufacturing company, they literally had a Skype meeting with him the next day and he got his offer by that afternoon. So we managed to, let him get a job before moving here.
And is that the same job he's still in at the moment?
Yep, same job.
Tell us a little bit about Adelaide and your decision to go there specifically.
Oh, Adelaide is just, it's like PE. It's so chilled and relaxed. And I mean, I laugh at people when they tell me they got stuck in traffic, because what that means in Adelaide is there were 6 cars in front of you at the traffic light, So coming from Joburg, where it took 2 hours to do 30 kilometers in the morning traffic, we 32 kilometers from work now and it takes us 25 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
But it is absolutely, it's beautiful. We try to do a new place every weekend where we just drive to, because everything's an hour away. Everything's an hour away, And
at the most.
It's breathtaking. It's just so beautiful. Everything's open. You can see everything. Everything's green and clean. Oh, we still can't get over how clean everything is.
The road system in Adelaide was really developed well. You've got and even the CBD, so much space. It's not cramped.
No.
It was well designed from the start. Yes. So everything is a little bit spread out. So there's almost like more space to move around in a way. So it really works well. And your beaches, oh my goodness, Robe and those kinds of areas, which is a little bit more south from where Adelaide is still, but South Australia has just got some amazingly beautiful places, and very similar in the landscape, like the plants and things that we have. It's almost like a South African West Coast kind of feeling.
Absolutely.
It's not high tropical trees. We've got that sort of west coast of South Africa, I guess. East Bay and those ones. It's Very
and
beautiful.
flat. Ocean is completely flat. There's no waves, which I love. I'm terrified of huge waves. So
me too. I want to put a lilo on the on the ocean and lie.
Yeah, and people do. They get there with their inflatables. Brilliant. It's brilliant.
And your kids, how did they find the move? So how old were they when you guys came over?
So when we came over, they were 2 and 8 and 10. So yeah, they all just had their 4th, 10th and 12th birthdays here. I think we prepared them a lot as well. Obviously for my daughter being younger, it wasn't as hard for her. Boys having established friendships that they had since they started school from the age of 18 months, they were a little bit upset to begin with when we told them about the move, but we prepared them mentally for it. We even got some help from a counselor that we knew, a family friend. And once they realized that moving here it meant freedom and opportunity, they were so excited about it. I mean, they couldn't stop talking about riding bicycles to school and riding scooters to school. And when we got here, it's like we've never left.
And you guys have quite a few South Africans as well in Adelaide. The support system there. How did you find settling into the social life? Have you made friends yet?
Yes, we have. And I think having kids automatically means making friends. My daughter picked out the only other South African in her kindy and got invited to his birthday party and met about 6 couples at this birthday party were South African.
Wow.
And, so yeah, we've made so many friends. We also have Australian friends, obviously, but I mean, like I say, if you have kids, you're going to make friends. It's just those things.
So what so far do you think is the best thing for you about living in Australia?
Honestly, just not being in that constant state of fright or flight is, I mean, it took a while. I couldn't sleep for the first 3 months because we don't have security gates or a big fat wall around our house. I couldn't sleep. It was very strange.
Yes, because your brain tells you it needs to be there.
Yes. And, just not having to constantly look over your shoulder anymore, just walking around and just knowing that you're safe, you're okay. You can't put a price tag on that. I used to have this constant knot in the back of my shoulder before we moved here. And now I'm so much more relaxed. And we're actually living now, getting out, living our lives, not saying, oh, we can't go to the mall because, there was a robbery again yesterday, or we're going to go on holiday. What if we get hijacked on the way? Or we don't have that. You cannot put a price on that, on actually living.
What was the hardest thing for you about doing the application yourself? Is there anything specific that you guys did that you think you'd be able to give somebody else like a tip on how to make it easier for you? And then also, I know with the electricians, you have to have an assessment done on your skill set, and that's based on somebody, an Australian professional person who's there, who then in person assesses you.
Yes.
And that's not possible at the moment anymore because COVID has changed that for people. So there are a lot of electricians who are waiting for COVID to open the borders again so that that can start off again. Do you have any tips for people on that specific process as well with the skills assessment for electricians?
Look, I think Vet Assess is the assessing authority. And when I first started with the application, obviously doing everything on my husband's behalf, I kind of just skimmed through everything and thought, oh, okay, well, this is easy. He's been doing this for ages, like me being an outsider. But I decided that one night to actually just properly go through it and understand it. And they give you all the information, Vet Assess. They prepare you. If you go and sit down and you just take the time they don't give you all those pages for no reason. Everything was in there. And when my husband actually did that, he said to me after doing all the assessments, he said, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't actually go through all of those pages, because it prepared him, not just mentally, but prepared him to know, oh, so this is what they're looking for instead of this. Because again, as South Africans, we used to just doing everything the way we think it should be done, whereas here it's very process orientated. That's all explained in what they
tick the box.
Yes. So go through it. Don't skim the pages. Spend time on it and go through it. Definitely.
And what was the hardest thing for you to do about this, applying yourself? Was there anything specifically that stood out for you, or that you think you could have done differently?
Yeah, the IMI account got us. I mean, often it wasn't 100% what you are supposed to do. You know, some of the tick boxes were very broad spectrum, so you know, it wasn't direct. And then I actually watched a couple YouTube videos on it that helped, just seeing other people going through it. Because, for instance, something we didn't know is that you had to apply to states separately to applying for your visa. We only found this out 6 months into our application process, and we went, oh, when we saw it on a YouTube video, we had no idea. So then we said, oh, okay, well, who's looking for electricians? And at the time it was New South Wales and South Australia. So we had to go onto their websites and apply with them, get approval, and then apply with IMI. So again, watching those YouTube videos, and even yours, I've been watching so many of yours. Yours is filled with information. Highly recommend it. The more
thank you,
the better. Yeah.
And thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, especially coming from somebody who has done the process themselves and very recently, that you do find that, you know, what we provide as well is helpful, because that's the whole point of this channel. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to just bring more information to people like yourself, who would, firstly, those who would like to apply themselves. And secondly, even if you do go through an agent, it's still really helpful to have as much information as possible. Absolutely. Because it just prepares you mentally better for that, I want to say, shock. It doesn't have to be a shock, but the less you know, the more of a shock it will be. And so if you keep on getting yourself filled, your brain, with information and how people have done it, like yourself, and sharing with us, mentally you'll be so much more better prepared to, especially if something goes wrong or you have a hiccup, to just keep going at it and go back and try again. Because if you tick the boxes, there's no reason why you should not be able to actually make it over.
Absolutely. Fill yourself with information.
Thank you so much, Richelle, for sharing your story. It's been really encouraging hearing how you guys have done it yourself. And as you said, you just kept learning more and reading more up, and just I guess believing in the fact that you can do it and can come over. And then how you have made the move across with your 3 gorgeous children. I have seen photos of them. They are really beautiful.
Thank you.
And hopefully in 2 or 3 years' time, we can have a chat with you guys again. And I'd like to hear how the accent have Aussified then.
Yes, definitely. We'll come see you in Perth.
Awesome. Thanks, Richelle. Have a lovely afternoon or evening. It's almost evening in Adelaide.
Thank you, Chamonix. Have a lovely evening.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you had fun, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and then it'll make sure that you never miss a thing. I'll see you same time and same place next week. Bye for now.